it's like peeling away and you kind of get addicted to it. You ever get those chunks? Like when you would get sunburned and you're peeling the skin and then you peel too far.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting grossed out.
And then the red meat shows.
Yeah. Then you're like, fuck that. Oops. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. We're sitting here watching my dogs. Shorty do her thing because...
the puppies got in a little argument.
Yeah, they got in
just
a fight.
Little too much.
Somebody's getting food aggressive. We're going to have to figure that out. Which was not so good for my husband who got in the middle of it. Yeah.
Poor guy. When I came over that day, I felt so bad for him.
He's all with his arms.
I'll go look at the car.
Oh my God. What was that, Saturday? Was that Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
It was Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because you called him directly.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Carlene's coming over. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because I said, what's wrong? You don't sound good. And he's like, Alma will fill you in.
He's like, I don't want to rehash it.
He didn't even want to.
He
did not want to talk about it.
I'll put my phone over here because I want to turn it down because I'm on a group text. You know how those go sometimes.
Oh my gosh. My phone. I love like being in group text with my kids, except for when I'm working or doing something like this and my phone is like, because my kids love to joke back and forth and I'm not in it anymore, but my phone's like ding 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 ding.
Yep.
Kids would be like, oh, you just do this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my kids do that all the time. Mom, there's an easier way to do
like,
that.
How do you not know? You just push this twice
I don't know.
Done.
I don't know.
I don't know either. All I know with this one is you can do up and the ringer's on, down and the ringer's off. That's
my husband's like that too, especially with the computers.
Clever.
Yeah, very.
Yeah. And you know I'm not.
And I'm not. Yeah. But I like to figure things out on my own.
Oh.
So kind of stubborn that way.
Yeah. And I just do this. There's certain things I am like that about. And then there's other things I'm just like, can you order it for me? With my luck, I'm the one who's going to put my credit card information in and it's going to go to somebody else.
Right.
And then whatever I have left in the bank is going to be there.
You're like, I need it all.
I need it now.
I need every penny.
Yeah. So I'd rather just somebody who knows what they're doing do it for me.
You said you had a story for us.
You did it. Okay. Well, this is like the most amazing proof of how spirit, if they want something said, they will find a way to say it.
Right.
If they want you to come see me, they will get you to come see me. I always tell people, you think it was your idea to come see me, but spirit brought you to me.
Right.
And to me, like if they want you to go see somebody else, they'll take you to see somebody else. But if you're supposed to see me, they will bring you to me. So like I went to the doctor the other day and I was like, oh, I need to go to Fry's, pick up a few things. Like we don't have anything at the house. So I just need to go get a few things. And while I was at the doctor, I'm like, well, Costco's right there, but I don't have, you can't go to Costco and spend $20.
No.
Or $30
no,
or
like
$50.
$300.
Right.
Minimum.
So I'm like, I am not going to Costco as much as I need to go there too and get waters and stuff, but I just don't have the money to. I'm not going. And then it's almost like all I kept hearing was, you need to go to Costco. So I was like, I'm just going to go to Fry's and pick up a few things. Nope, you're going to go to Costco. All right. I'm going to go to Costco, evidently.
Apparently, you're going to Costco.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, like, what can I get at Costco that I can make for dinner? I'll just get it like a whole chicken and, you know, planning out a dinner, like a couple things I can make for dinner. Which, by the way, I bought some of those, you know, the pork loin things that come in 2 packages. Mm-hmm. I went to make one the other day. It went from Costco to my house to the freezer.
Okay.
That's it. And then, like, 2 days after my Costco trip, I'm like, I'm going to make that for dinner. So I took it out, thawed it out, and went to cut it open, and it stunk to high heaven.
Oh, my God. Ew.
Foul.
Pork. Ugh.
Yeah, it was bad. So we didn't get to eat dinner.
Oh, that sucks.
We had to order out. But, yeah, I was really upset because that was one of my planned meals since I went to Costco. Okay, so anyway, super compelled to go to Costco. Fine, I'll go to Costco. And even while I was driving, I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Why am I going to Costco? All right, fine. I'll get waters, blah, 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 planning a menu, go in. And usually if you go to Costco, you got to go up and down every aisle. You got to look at the clothes, you know. So I started to do that. And then for some reason, like I put on my little earbuds and was listening to second date update stuff. Just minding my own business. And then I found myself not going up and down every aisle. Like, okay, I'm going to go do this. Like, now I have an agenda. But I didn't have an agenda. I had the whole day. There was no reason to rush.
Right.
But I feel like I have an agenda. So I go to do my thing, and then I get my waters, and then I find myself going down the detergent aisle, which no reason to go down that aisle. I didn't need anything. But I went down that aisle. And so I was like, there's a lady in the aisle with me. It's just me and her, but the place was packed. And I was like, don't you hate it when you meant to go to Fry's, but I take out my ear things deliberately. And I'm like, don't you hate it when you meant to go to Fry's and you ended up at Costco and then this happens? And I show her my cart full of shit. And she's like, oh my God, yes, I was going to go to Fry's and then this and blah, blah, blah. And yeah. And I still have to go up and down all the aisles. Ha 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 ha. And we were laughing. Okay. So, okay, bye. Have a good day. And I start walking. And as I'm walking, I hear, brother, really loud. Brother. Uh-oh.
Like, oh no.
I'm like, for her? Wait, I need to turn around. Like, Costco's very full. Are you sure it's for her? Should I, maybe I'm misunderstanding you? Nope. For her. Oh my gosh. I love it, but I hate it at the same time because that first initial, like, so it's so hard. So I walk up to her. I'm like, hey, so would you want to pull over and talk to me? And she's like, sure.
I don't know how being an introverted person as I am, if somebody said that, I'm like, okay.
She thought I was kidding.
Oh.
She later told me, I thought you were joking because we were just joking around.
Right.
And then it turns out you were for real, serious. And so that's why she was like, sure, whatever. And then I told her, okay, so I tell her some things. I'm like, I'm trying to figure out, this is what I do. If it's not your thing, tell me to, shut up, mind my own business, keep walking. I won't be offended. She's like, no, go ahead. I'm interested. So I'm like, okay, so I hear this and blah, blah, blah. And I start telling her stuff. It was like, if I was standing there, I would have been like, okay, you suck at your job. But we were just trying to figure out where this brother energy was coming from.
Right.
And so we figure out, like, she just left her parents' house, and it had to do with this whole connection between her parents, her, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, hey, I think we need to pull over even more because this is going to take a minute. So then I'm talking to her. I tell her some valid.
Yeah, how do you do that in Costco when everybody's pushing their cart at you?
You have to find like the worst place to stand where nobody wants to buy anything right there. And so then I'm like, and it's hard because there is so much energy in there. So you're trying to like just focus on that person and get the right message out and quickly. And I'm talking like super fast and just trying to get it over with. And so I'm like, not get it over with because I don't want to do it, but just because we're in a crowded place.
Right.
And so I said, after I had already, we've spoken and I've given her some other stuff. I'm like, is there a wedding coming up? Because I kind of was like, hold on, because this is going to blow me away. Is there a wedding coming up? And she's like, oh my God, I just left this wedding venue. I just left it and came here. Mm-hmm. And I said, holy crap, because so-and-so wants you to know that they're not missing anything, that they know of this, but hold on, is there like a birthday or something? And she's like, well, it's a really hard week because it is the anniversary of his death. It's like his birthday. And then there's this wedding coming and, there's some guilt and blah, blah, blah. And he had said prior to her telling me about the guilt, like he takes responsibility for this passing and blah, blah, blah. And, she's like, oh my gosh, we need to hear that. Like, that's so important. Thank you for telling me that. My brother went and saw a medium like a year ago, and she was spot on with everything. But at the time, I wasn't really ready to hear everything. But she was spot on with her. And I said, because I said, was she legit? And she said, oh, she was spot on with everything. And I said, well, that's good. And I'm like, I like to spend a lot of time with people. You know, that's why I don't rush anything. I don't like to charge a lot because I want it to be accessible to every blah, 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 blah. And so then we're like, okay, well, this is my name. That's your name. You know, hey, I do a podcast. Here's my card. And I wrote, you know, blah, blah. Like, here's how you can find us. So I get home, unloading my stuff. And one of my clients / friends is... I see a text from her and it says, I know you were at Costco. And I'm like, fucking stalker. My God. She's like, because you made one of my friends cry.
What?
And I'm like,
I have goosebumps
that's
right now.
insane. Oh, it gets even better. I'm like, that's so crazy. So I hurry up, put everything away. I call her. She's cracking up. And she's like, okay, so that was so-and-so. And she's like, that's this person's sister. And I'm like, I don't know who that is. And then the more she started to talk, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm the medium. Her brother had come to see me a year ago.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Full goosebumps.
And
now.
I'm the medium that he saw. So Samantha, my client, is like cracking up because she's like, it would have been hilarious if you just started like bad mouthing the medium.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't do that because Spirit told me how great she was. Oh,
but didn't tell you that it was you.
No, didn't tell me it was me. But while I was talking to her, to the woman in Costco, it's funny because I had said he only chooses me to speak through.
So crazy,
isn't it? He only chooses me to speak through, and at this time, you know, obviously I don't know this connection,
right?
And I said, he says he will only talk through me because when he was here in the physical world, he didn't believe in all this stuff. So he would have been like, just keep walking. And I said, but he will talk through me because I'm not like a typical like woo-woo kind of person.
Right.
And she's like, oh, that's totally him. And then we find out the connection.
That he went to you and that's why he came to you.
Yeah, that her brother had seen me.
Wow.
So he brought the brother to me a year ago. And then the sister was probably teetering, like she probably could use it. The rest of the family can use it too. He's like, I need to get a message through because this is a hard week for everybody. Fucking Carlene, you are going to Costco. And then the sister, you're going to Costco. And he had to get us both there.
In the same aisle.
Down the same aisle, which would explain why I wasn't going up and down every aisle and why I was like, had an agenda.
Right.
But didn't know I had an agenda.
Right.
And then got us together.
That's so crazy.
Isn't that a great story?
Yeah, it is a great story.
Like Spirit, if they want something done, they will find a way to do it.
Wow.
It's kind of like I met this woman.
It all depends on how determined they are, right?
Yeah. Like, so I met this woman at Costco this years ago. Mm-hmm. This is what I told this lady. I'm like,
it's always at Costco.
This is the second time I've done this. I met a very good friend at Costco. We had no idea we would be friends for like years later. But I met her at Costco doing this very same thing. So I meet this woman at Costco. And then years later, we start to find out we have all these connections. Like my daughter-in-law is connected. My god sisters, she knows them. I mean, just we have all these connections.
So Costco's the place.
Costco was somehow Spirit was going to get me. But she referred somebody to me. And through them, I knew I recognized this name of this person. Again, just another connection. And this was years later. Mm-hmm. Like I had met her at Costco when our kids were kind of small. Now my kids are grown and okay, I got this lady. She's like, this woman's coming to see you. And I'm okay. I didn't put the name together. I'm talking to this woman. I'm bringing through this woman's dad. And all of a sudden I stop and I'm like, hold on. I recognize this energy. It's so weird. Like I've never just like recognized an energy I'm bringing through. That's crazy. What was your dad? What did he do for a living? And she's like, oh, he was an entertainer and real estate. No, this is insane. Okay, what was your dad's name? And she said, oh, Paul Rogers. And I'm like, get the hell out of here. I said, your dad was my landlord when I first moved back here from California. And I was so 9 months pregnant. And he was our favorite landlord and the sweetest man. even after we moved, I would still take my kids to visit him. He had, like, he was hilarious, and he used to be a clown in the circus. He had worked with, like, some really famous people, but he would always talk to me about his granddaughter, Jennifer? Anyway, I remember seeing her on his refrigerator, and then that's who was connected to the Costco chick and Facebook, and yeah, Jennifer's. Yeah. So anyway, she then, through that, her mom comes and sees me. Her mom actually watched Connor for one day when I went back to work and was like, no, I'm going to go get my baby. Forget it.
Right.
But and I'm like, you actually watched my son. I took him to your house down the street from our house. Like, it was crazy. So Paul had to work really hard, and it took him a long time to be able to coordinate all that to get her on my couch in my living room.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she had to get me to run into this lady at Costco, drum up a friendship, get on Facebook, have her daughter, like, all of that had to be, you'd be surprised at what they have to do. It's crazy.
Wow.
Insane.
That's a pretty cool story.
That took some years. Costco it's got to be the place.
Right.
I mean, it's only been 2 people. I would say Fry's is more of a connection than Costco.
But that one was pretty cool, though.
Those are 2 good stories, I think. But
Very.
The most recent one is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So does she now know that her brother came to see you?
Yeah, they all know.
Now.
So then I get home and I'm getting text messages, and her brother's like, so why did that happen? I'm like, your uncle made it very clear. I'm the only one he's going to speak through. And he made that happen. That's why it happened. And so now they're trying to get, I think they're just trying to get other members of the family and to come and just get some, because they know how good it makes them feel. They want other members to get that same healing.
I think sometimes it's just that you need that confirmation that they're okay on the other side.
Yeah. Well, and also when you change the narrative because of your guilt,
right,
you need to hear from that person, from that soul, that you're not responsible.
Right. That too.
Because if you're going to carry that around, it's not doing you any good.
Gotta let it go.
Yeah. Should we toast? Should we toast?
Let's toast right now.
Wait, do it again.
Okay.
I was afraid. Did that one work? There, that was a good one.
We're drinking 7 Moons Dark Side Red Blend because yesterday was a full moon. I thought it was a cool
with a
bottle.
lunar eclipse.
Yeah. So it has like all the phases of the moon on.
That is a cool bottle.
Yeah.
Did you take a picture?
I like it. I'll take a picture.
Did you take a picture?
Take a picture.
We don't do that as much anymore with our wine. Well, we do wine, we do whiskey,
We're very inconsistent. We've already been drinking. I mean me.
You. We're inconsistent.
We're inconsistent. Okay, so it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a fun little ride today. Everybody, buckle up.
We're just doing one story, right?
Yeah, we just have the one. The one, and it was suggested to us by
Cynthia.
Thank you, Cynthia. It's kind of a cool story. It's not as paranormal as some of the other ones.
Yeah.
So we looked, trust me that we looked everywhere. We were looking for like ghost hunts, paranormal, like we had to dig.
Yeah.
We really had to dig. But the story in itself.
It's an interesting story.
Yeah.
It is.
But I see why people think that there's more paranormal.
You would think there would be.
Yeah.
I would think there, even watching it, I'm like, how can there not be? That's why I was digging. I put paranormal, ghost,
Yeah.
anything, and nothing was coming up.
Yeah. I did find some stuff though.
Well, yeah, you found a couple things.
Yeah. So do you want to do the history first?
Yeah, let's just
dive right in.
Yeah, we'll just do like we usually do, and I'll just jump in, bounce off. Yeah.
So we're doing. The story is.
We're so organized.
Yeah, I know. It's on Silent Hill, and a lot of you will recognize that name from the movie or the video games.
I was gonna watch the movie, and then I saw.
It's a terrible movie.
First I saw how many stars, and I was like, oh, well, good, it's bad. And then I was like, And then I saw like the picture of the movie with like the kids with no mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to watch this. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'll just hope that it's on something I don't have. And it was, so I didn't get to watch it.
Right.
I'm like, I am not paying for a shitty movie.
So, like, the video game came out in, like, the late 90s. Mm-hmm. And I remember putting the kids to sleep and going back in the room and just, like, watching Albert play the game. Mm. And it was a very...
Is the game scary?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, it's basically...
So weird.
I feel like it's kind of like a role-playing game, except that you're, like, controlling the person. It's not, like, first person.
I'm surprised not more, like, they haven't done scary movies there.
Yeah. I think they tried.
Oh, I mean...
But not with this one. But yeah, the main protagonist in the game is Harry Mason. He's searching for his missing adopted daughter in this fictional town called Silent Hill. And there's a cult involved, and they perform a ritual to revive some forgotten god.
Silly.
Yeah. It was really, really creepy. And I know that I closed my eyes on more than one occasion, and I probably had more nightmares than I can remember. But it was like addicting because there was a storyline behind it. So you just wanted to find out what the next, even though I wasn't the one that was actually playing the game, it had me hooked. Anyways, a few years later, I think it's like 2006, the movie comes out. Mm-hmm. But one of the people that actually wrote the script for the movie.
Yeah.
This town it's based on, Centralia, Pasadena, Pennsylvania.
Right.
But it's supposed to be in the movie. It's West Virginia. It's some town in West Virginia. So, anyways, it's the characters are a little bit different, but it's kind of like the same theme from the video game, and it was just a really bad movie.
I'm glad
it's creepy.
Glad I didn't watch it. I think my kids watched it when it came out.
Yeah, my kids watched it. I just was like, I think I watched bits and pieces of it. Like, I don't really remember watching it all the way through because it was just so bad to me. The protagonist is basically fighting cults, witches, and demons from another dimension. The only thing that really has any basis in the real world was the nightmarish hellscape of fires that were burning under the town.
The only truth.
The only truth, which is a pretty crazy truth, right?
Yeah, crazy.
So that brings us to Centralia.
Centralia.
Sounds like Transylvania.
Right.
So I'm just going to take it all the way back to the beginning. Mm-hmm. Not in 1962, but when it was founded. Mm-hmm. Centralia was first sold by Native American tribes who sold the land to colonial agents in 1749 for 500 pounds.
Wow. What a steal.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it was a lot more back then in 1789.
Yeah. I mean, considering what was underneath it.
Yeah. But they didn't really even notice that.
No,
they didn't really. Maybe they knew it was there, but it wasn't that big of a deal.
Maybe they didn't? No.
Maybe they didn't. So it went through several different hands before anyone really took notice of the cache of anthracite in the region. The first two mines opened in Centralia in 1856. There was the Locust Run mine and the Coleridge mine, and then there was several more after that. The town was incorporated as a borough in 1866, and like most mining towns, its principal employer was the anthracite coal industry. Alexander Ray, the town's founder, was murdered in his buggy by members of the Molly Maguires in October 17th, 1868. During a trip between Centralia and Mount Carmel. The three men were eventually convicted of his death and were hanged in the county seat of Bloomsburg on March 25th, 1878. And like the many boom towns at Central around mining, there was plenty of murder, arson, and crime to go around. And then, I don't know if you ran into this, but there was a legend among locals in Centralia that tells that Father Daniel Ignatius McDermott, did you...
Yeah, I was going to see if you were going to say this because it matters.
It does. Okay, so he's the first Roman Catholic priest to call Centralia home. He cursed it's said, this is the legend.
Legend says, but just pay attention.
He cursed the land in retaliation for being assaulted by three members of the Maguires in 1869. McDermott said that there would be a day when St. Ignatius Roman Catholic Church would be the only structure remaining in Centralia. And let me tell you that it is. Many of the Molly Maguire's leaders were hanged in 1877, ending their crimes. Legends say that a number of descendants of the Molly Maguires still lived in Centralia up until the 1980s.
Wow.
Which bring me to the next question. Who the fuck were the Molly Maguires?
Yeah. Who were they?
And the short answer for you today is they were a secret organization of coal miners supposedly responsible for acts of terrorism in the coal fields of Pennsylvania and West Virginia in the United States.
Who would have thought that?
I know. In the period from 1862 to 1876. Learned something new.
Interesting.
The group named itself after a widow who led a group of Irish anti-landlord agitators in the 1840s.
Wow.
So that's who they were.
That's progressive.
According to numbers of federal census records, the town of Centralia reached its maximum population of 2,761. I mean, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, for that town it is.
In 1890. I feel like Vulture City had more people than that.
Did it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah, it did.
Yeah.
At one point, because it was yeah.
Okay, and
wait, you said 1890?
Yeah, that was 1890.
Yeah. I watched one thing that had the date wrong, so.
This I got off of Wikipedia.
You're right. It's right, because I watched another thing and I was like, oh, I need to change that on my notes, and I never did.
At its peak, the town had 7 churches, 5 hotels, 27 saloons, 2 theaters, a bank, a post office, and 14 general and grocery stores. 37 years later, the production of anthracite coal, which is, I guess it's the most sought after form of coal.
Yeah, well, if you don't know what that is, it is a coal that will burn for a very long
Apparently
time.
forever.
Yeah, it does. And that's why
forever and ever and ever.
For 200 years. It will it's why it's so sought after, because it stays hot for so long. So who wouldn't want that?
Exactly.
That's why those residents were pretty well to do in that town.
Yeah, well, and that's why they were so dead set on not leaving, some of them.
Right.
So in the following years, production declined as many young miners from Centralia enlisted in the military when the U.S. entered World War I.
Yeah.
So I'm going to skip Wall Street crash, closing of several mines, and the bootleg miners taking or robbing, extracting coal from coal pillars left in mines, left to support the... What is this? What was I typing?
She was drinking.
Was I drinking? Left to support the roof of the mine. Sound familiar? Taking the goods from the pillars. Anyways, skipping all the way to May 1962, when a botched attempt to clean up a landfill located literally in an abandoned strip mine next to Oddfellows Cemetery, they decided they were going to do this by setting it on fire. Just a reminder, that coal is highly flammable. Are you talking
about the trash?
Yeah.
Yeah, but did you see, they were trying to get, I kept trying to figure out what celebration they were having to where, they regularly burned off that trash. Right. But, they were having a celebration.
It was Memorial Day, right?
Was it? Yeah, it was something like that. And they wanted to, burn off. And it was volunteer firefighters that were doing it.
Well, apparently they had done this in prior years.
Yeah.
But the landfill wasn't there where it was in that time. So at this point, it's now next to this old abandoned mine and a cemetery. Awesome. Unlike previous years, the fire was not fully extinguished.
So when I heard an actual resident talk about it, he basically was like, they set the fire off. He didn't say anything about it not being extinguished. He just said because of the reams, I don't know what you call them, but because there was actually, basically there's openings that go into where the coal was. And they didn't realize that was there, and it was just really hot, and it hit those.
Yeah, it says an unsealed opening in the pit allowed the fire to enter the labyrinth of abandoned coal mines beneath Centralia.
Oh my God, we have the exact wording written down. That's hilarious. And I didn't get it from
No?
Yeah.
Apparently somebody else did.
Somebody else did.
And then there was another story that was ignited on a different day when a trash hauler dumped hot ash or coal discarded from coal burners into the open trash pit.
Yeah, I'm only going to believe this one because I heard an actual person that lived it tell it. So,
and then there's also some other theories out there that are kind of like,
yeah,
I just left those alone. All right, the borough by law was responsible for installing a fire-resistant clay barrier between each layer of the landfill, but fell behind schedule, leaving the barrier incomplete. This allowed the hot coals to penetrate the vein of coal underneath the pit and start the subsequent subterranean fire. So it was their own downfall for not doing what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, they also said that was one of their preventative measures. Oh shit, this happened, so let's lay this clay here to make it stop. Well, they were too slow. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, okay, well, let's douse it with water.
Yeah.
And then it was okay, wait a minute. We need thousands of dollars to put this fucker out. And then they were like, we almost have it out. Did you get to that part? Because I don't want to jump in it. But they're like, we almost have it out. We just need $20,000 more. And then they were like, okay, well, we're going to have to get some bids in. They're like, no, we don't have time for that.
They kind of kept it under wraps for about 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, by waiting 3 months for those bids, it let the fire spread. It was out of control. So they fucked the whole town by doing that. They took a $20,000 problem and made it a multi-million dollar issue.
Where the United States government had to finally step in, right? But I'm getting ahead.
Yeah, I won't.
So let's fast forward to 1979. So we were in 1962, now we're in 1979. Because apparently it took this long for locals to really understand the depth of the hot-ass situation that was developing right under their noses. A gas station owner, then Mayor John Coddington, inserted a dipstick, into one of his underground tanks.
He couldn't figure out why his gas was what the fuck's happening on my gas?
Yeah,
it's just evaporating.
Yeah.
So he's like, let's stick a thermometer or something
Let's
down there.
stick my thumb up somebody's ass.
Yeah.
To check the fuel level. And then when he withdrew it, it seemed hot. He lowered a thermometer into the tank on a string and was shocked to discover that the temperature of the gasoline in the tank was 172 Fahrenheit.
That's kablammy.
Yeah. And 77.8 Celsius to everybody else that uses that.
They are so lucky.
Yeah.
That it didn't just blow up that whole town.
I know.
That gas? Yeah, that's scary.
Luckily, it was just evaporating.
Yeah.
And not exploding.
And causing him that was something else. Because before that, he was getting really tired and not feeling well. But it wasn't until after they noticed all that they realized.
Yeah. And this is what, 1962 to 1979.
Dude's getting carbon monoxide poisoning.
Oh my God.
Oh, guess what? So's the whole town.
Big time. I guess people were getting these coughs that were the coal mine coughs. People that go down in the coal mine, they were coughing like that too.
Oh, wow.
So it was messing with their health. Anyways, statewide attention starts to focus on the town, and it's a growing problem. But what really kicked their butt in gear was when in 1981, 12-year-old resident named Todd Domboski fell into a sinkhole 4 feet wide by 150 feet deep.
Okay, this is my favorite one. Is if you listen to several podcasts, you watch several YouTubes, you get different stories on this.
One of them is his cousin saved his life, and the other one was his mother.
Oh, and then I watched an interview with him, the actual kid.
Okay, yeah, he wrote a book.
He's a grown-ass man.
Yeah,
and it was his cousin. But go ahead and tell the story.
Yeah, I went with the Wikipedia story.
Did they say cousin?
Yeah, they said cousin. Yeah, because I read a couple other versions, but one of them was the mom, and then she saves his life, and she's staring into the pit of hell.
Oh my God! Some said it was his brother, it was his friend.
Yeah. Anyways, he falls into the sinkhole. It's very deep, 150 feet deep.
He's literally holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
Because if he was to let go, he would have been gone, never to be seen again, because he would have fried.
Yeah.
But go ahead. I'm sorry. So he's holding on for dear life. I need you to get a visual, people.
Yeah, that suddenly opened beneath his feet in the backyard. He literally just disappeared.
Well, he says he saw... Okay, so throughout the town, they have these vents that are blowing out smoke from the fires.
Right.
And
steam.
Steam. So he had seen smoke coming out, and I don't remember if it was actually coming out of a vent, but he got curious. And as he walked over, he's in his aunt's backyard. And as he walks over to it, the ground just sucks him under. Like it's gone.
That's a nightmare.
That fast. He noticed that the ground was soft.
Right.
And so he was exploring and like, what's happening? Why is the ground soft? What is that coming up? And then it just kind of went out from underneath him and he was a goner.
Yeah.
So he's holding on to tree roots and everything, hanging on for his life.
Yeah. So then his cousin ends up, his cousin Eric, Wolfgang, pulls him out of the hole and saves his life. The plume of hot steam billowing from the hole was tested and found to contain a lethal level of carbon monoxide.
That's insane. Yeah, so his cousin, so like if somebody is like a lake with ice and somebody falls through the ice, if somebody's going to save them, they'll crawl on there.
Right.
That's what he did. He crawled on his belly. So this 13, 14, whatever year old kid crawls on his belly, gets his cousin out, and then that's how finally the government was like,
okay, we have a problem.
Yeah, we can't let kids die.
Yeah. This could come back to haunt us. Yeah, literally.
This isn't going to look good.
So apparently the town was pretty divided on how to handle this issue. Like some people didn't think it was that big of a deal.
They're thinking like, we've lived here our whole life.
Right.
Like we've generations and generations have been here. This is our home. Mm-hmm. We can't just leave. Like this fire will burn off. It's moving, so this will burn out. That was their thinking. Like they interviewed this one man who was one of the sticklers that stayed, and he's like, it's already gone. Like they didn't have to buy everybody out because it's moved on.
But apparently it hasn't.
It's still, there's still fumes in the air.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're poisoning yourself.
So in the end, the U.S. government ends up spending $42 million in relocation efforts. Almost all the residents accepted the buyouts, with more than 1,000 taking the money and leaving. By 1990, the census recorded about 63 holdouts.
Oh, that many?
That was 1990.
Wow.
Eventually, in 1992, Pennsylvania invoked eminent domain on all the property in the town and condemned the buildings. Some of those holdouts fought in court, but to no avail. Apparently, something was worked out where some of the residents could take the buyout but remain in their homes. But when they leave or die, those homes get swallowed up by eminent domain.
Yeah, you want to know how much they got? Because they actually got money.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me, because I didn't put that down.
Hold on, I'll find that. I'll find that part.
So there's literally now, and it might be even less than that, depending on when these stories were written, but there at the time of this information, there was 10 residents still living in the town.
And then most recently, there were like 5.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. They even revoked their zip code and removed it from maps.
I found it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So October 2013, the remaining residents settled their lawsuit, receiving $218,000 in compensation for the value of their homes, plus $131,500 to settle additional claims, and the right to stay in their homes for the rest of their lives. So up until then, like before 2013, they were basically squatters, like not going anywhere.
Right.
But that's a pretty good chunk for toxic land.
Right.
That you basically weren't going to get anything for. They were telling you can, like, we're not going to force you out. It's not worth it.
Right.
Sure, stay there as squatters.
Right. Die of some horrible lung disease. Some horrible lung disease.
Right. But they got a pretty good chunk of, what, 300 and almost 400,000?
Yeah.
What they did with the residents that all left before, they were kind of playing, the government is tricky. Mm-hmm. So they kind of did this downtown.
Right.
Like in downtown Phoenix when they were building the freeways, or I learned this in my real estate class because my teacher happened to be part of it, I guess, is that they were, the whole eminent domain. And then there were some holdouts. But what they did was they always start low. And then they play neighbors on neighbors. Like,
Right.
well, your neighbors are taking this. And the neighbors are like, wait, they said they weren't taking that. Are you taking that? And then they all start getting pissed at each other. They rally everybody up. And now neighbors are fighting neighbors.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? I'm not doing it. They said you're doing it. And everybody's calling everybody a liar because the government certainly isn't lying.
I remember when they built the Diamondbacks stadium, there was a little lady, like she was literally...
Yep. That was one, yeah.
Yeah, but they think that she's haunting the place.
I wouldn't doubt it. Because she was a stickler.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm not leaving. This is my house. Like, it's so sad. There's no... And developers do it all the time.
Right.
They don't care about these people. They did it with all the farmers around here, too.
Right.
Like, some farmers are like, yeah, go ahead. I'm tired of this shit. I'm going to get a big old chunk of change for this land. And others are like, this has been in my family forever.
It's the whole, that whole emotional attachment to
it's
the
like,
land.
this is our livelihood. Like, this land has been in our family for ever and ever and ever.
Are you watching Yellowstone? I'm sorry.
I only got to watch the first episode because I wasn't paying for the extra Peacock because I didn't know that you had to pay to get the rest of them. So I got super hooked. And then I was, I'm pretty stubborn. Like, motherfuckers, you're going to tell me I have to pay to watch this shit? Fuck that. And then I'm like, okay, it's only $5. So now everybody's talking about it. And I'm like, where were you all when it first came out? And I was watching it. That one episode. I remember telling my mom, like, you need to watch this show. It's so good. I can't, but you can. And, but yeah, I think I'm going to be paying my whole little $5 fee so I can watch it.
It just made me think of, like, the family living on the land.
Yeah.
Their whole livelihood, their whole family history is, like, invested in this
That's why
land.
They are fighting the way they are. And people, yeah.
So, anyways.
It's exactly it. Good comparison. Because most people are watching. Allie said she went to work, and usually the people at work are like getting shows from her. And they're all like, Allie, are you watching Yellowstone? And she's like, what? She's not.
My brother he's the one that got me started watching. He's like, you got me started watching Game of Thrones. I know you're going to like watching this. So I was like, okay, finally. He's like, and the sister reminds me of you.
No.
And I'm like, no, she doesn't.
No, she doesn't.
He's like, yeah, she reminds me of you.
If that's what he sees in you.
I know.
Where he's got like this image of you all made up in his head that isn't real. Because that's wrong.
Totally.
No.
Anyways.
All right, back to our story.
Okay. So apparently this fire has literally, this fire has been raging for 59 years now. 59
and they
years.
they said at the time that it would rage for 200, so we have another 150 years for it to go.
And it's like moving under into like other townships that are worrying about it, affecting them. Most of the buildings have been demolished or reclaimed by nature. There's one lonely church.
It's so beautiful, though.
It is.
There were 2 churches still standing, but one has since. So now there's only that church.
St. Mary's, which is the one we mentioned in the beginning. That was his prophecy, was that it was going to be the only thing remaining.
You know why it's remaining? Because it's built on only rock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like just on a hill of rock. So it can't burn. Nothing can happen to it. It's built on a rock. But maybe he did have a prophecy. Who knows? I mean, doing what I do.
Apparently they still have Sunday service. There's still parishioners that go there.
Yeah, they have a whole bunch of no trespassing. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well,
I learned something about yawning.
What?
We yawn not because we're tired, but when our brain is thinking and we're like intently on something, our brain yawns to cool itself off.
Really?
That's what scientists say they have now found out that all our theories about yawning, that you're tired, that's not true. It's your brain's way of cooling off. And that it actually means, so they were doing this whole study, and then they were like, and this guy getting berated for yawning in somebody's class or courtroom. I don't remember. It was something significant. And he was actually yawning as a compliment. And it made sense, because when I do readings sometimes, I'll be like, I have no idea why you just keep yawning.
See? And you're always getting mad at me for yawning while you're telling your story.
Yeah. Well, actually, maybe you're paying attention. I just gave you an excuse.
Yeah. I guess what remains is remnants of properties such as steps to front door that's no longer there, a few abandoned buildings scattered here and there, surrounded by smoldering hillsides, devastated wastelands. For a very long time, there was a graffiti-covered highway that led to the town.
That sucks that they did what they did to it, because it was so cool.
Yeah. So I guess during the pandemic, the remaining residents of the town, they covered it with dirt to keep people from coming.
They said that I guess a bunch of people went out there and were like whooping it up during the pandemic. Oh, okay. And so they were like, okay, we need to put a stop to this. There's a pandemic happening.
If you see pictures, just look up Centralia, Pennsylvania, and you see pictures of the highway and you see the graffiti that's on it. I'm sure in the beginning it was annoying, but it actually looked like a piece of art in some of these pictures. Like, you're like, wow. People
actually came just to look at that.
Yeah.
And the whole place is beautiful now that you know what, every time I'm looking, when I was researching this and watching the videos, I'm like, oh, you Mother Nature.
Taking it back.
She's like, yeah, you dug into me. You started this. I'm going to finish it.
Well, I guess from the fumes, a lot of the land has been devastated, to the point where things won't grow.
Well, I don't know. It looked pretty green and beautiful to me.
I guess it depends on where you're at.
Yeah, where you're at. I mean, and definitely in the fall, nothing's there. Like, people say it's best to go in the winter, the fall, because all the leaves everything's dead and you can see things better. And then if you go, when it's nice, the spring and stuff, everything's green and beautiful.
So, word to the wise, since the town is not completely abandoned and the handful of people still there are not really happy about people who come to explore, especially when they march right on their property thinking it's abandoned.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't want to mess with anybody stubborn enough to remain in a town that's been burning for 60 fucking years.
No, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't mess with them.
That's kind of, and somebody said something in one of the YouTubes I was watching. She's like, they could have done this right. They could have not covered it with dirt, that highway, used it as a tourist attraction since people come there anyway.
Charge them
and use it to fix things up or put the fire out.
Right. Well, apparently that's not a possibility, putting the fire out. It doesn't sound like it is.
Doesn't sound like it is to me. But they can do other things, make that place habitable again. I don't know.
Or at least make some money
off of it.
People are going to go.
They are. They could give tours and talk about it and say what happened and give the real story to people and yeah, but no, they just didn't do that.
Apparently, there's still real danger from sinkholes that open up out of nowhere still. Sinkholes even caused an entire stretch of highway to be rerouted after holes and gas buckled parts of it back in 1994. And you can see pictures of that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
It looks very haunting.
It does look spooky as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about that geyser?
There's a geyser?
There's this, so there was water billowing up in there. I don't know where the water came from, to be honest.
Well, that would make sense.
And then there's there's this one, it's like a geyser.
Yeah, if there's an underground water source, it's going to heat up.
Right. And then there's water coming out, and then it flows through. And they said some people are like, cover it up. We don't want it flowing. And they're like, if we cover that up, your basements are going to, the remaining people there, their basements are going to be full of water.
Right.
But anyway, so they let it flow, but then there's red. It's popping out red water. Mm-hmm. So there's red all over. It's from the rust. Mm-hmm. So cool looking though. Yeah, it's actually really pretty. But anyway, yeah, there's that. And then, did you hear about the time capsule that they had?
Yeah.
In 1966, a time capsule was buried and dated to be open in 2016. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Did they open it?
Yeah. So in May 2014, the former and the remaining residents were like, let's open that bitch. So they did. And they found, they had to unearth it because some assholes were trying to unearth it and steal it for themselves. Mm-hmm. And so they were like, let's just check that bitch out. So they found a miner's helmet, a miner's lamp, some coal, a Bible, local souvenirs, a pair of bloomers signed by all the men of Centralia in 1966. That's kind of cute.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you get? Like, they were
bloomers.
Probably 19s. Yeah, bloomers. But yeah, that's kind of neat.
That's cool.
I thought that was an interesting
nice little. Yeah, I didn't even run into that.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny. I did this last time too, but I didn't bring my big computer.
You didn't.
I get to a point where I'm like, I cannot watch one more thing about this. I can't listen to one more thing about it. I'm sick of it. I'm going to jot down some stuff and then go from there. And I actually feel like I'm going to let you down, but
you never do.
I don't.
You don't.
I'm pretty proud of myself.
Last time you said you forgot your homework and you didn't.
I didn't do my assignment, but I did.
Well, the gases aren't lethal up above. They still play hell with the residents' health. Poison gas has even built up in some citizens' basements. Well,
that's like a bomb waiting to happen.
Yeah. So what is a ghost town without a few ghosts? And even though there are no actual casualties, surprisingly, considering all the sinkholes and shit.
I expected more ghost stories. Can I just say, though, that one that you sent me, and I was like, oh, yeah, this guy is actually accurate. Once I actually got to watch the rest of his stuff, I'm like, oh, this is why she sent it to me. Because he actually was saying some ghost stories.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of disappointed. Like, even on the YouTubers that were just there to look at the cemetery. There's 4 cemeteries there.
Right.
Like, one of those, you got to catch an EVP of something. Something. People are still being buried there.
Right.
Catch something for Pete's sake.
Well, it sounds like they were, like, because I watched a few of them, but it's like, I don't know, like, how much was hype and how much was...
No, I just want to, like, listen, you're just checking out the place, doing your own little YouTube. I want to catch an EVP that you don't even know is there.
Right.
You can't tell me this place isn't haunted.
Well, I mean, it was more than just the fires that happened starting in 1962.
Think of all the miners that died. Yeah. Did you see? They actually have
film. Murders. There was
murders, miners that died. I mean, it's a crazy time.
Right.
Crazy place from the 1700s. That's not even counting the Native Americans when they were living there.
Right.
This counting from
one of my ears just like completely just I can't hear anything out of this ear. And this ear string.
Let's wait for an EVP.
Okay.
Nothing.
Oops. Sorry.
That'd be so great if we just we're like, okay, do you want to say something?
Say it now. She's a psychic. That's what it sounds like. Every time I think, it's like people laughing. Yeah, she's a psychic. Oh my God. I'm talking about the EVP we got from Vulture City.
Oh my God.
That was creepy to me.
That was good.
Anyways, from visitors to the town.
Have people listened to it? Did you put it up? Did you put that one up?
I haven't put it up on Instagram. Yeah. I'm slacking, guys. I'm sorry. And I even told you guys that I was going to put a video of Carlene's the sound, but I tried. I literally
Spirit's
tried.
Like, fuck you.
Like I downloaded it onto my computer and there was no sound.
It doesn't want to work. But if you listen, like I sent it to her, she can hear it.
Yeah. And then I pulled it into Adobe Pro Premiere and nothing. It truncated the sound. So
That's
something
so
I'm
crazy.
doing wrong, or she's going to send me another one that she just caught and see what happens with that one.
Yeah.
But it was just weird. Anyways, yeah, so literally there were no casualties to the fires and the
Right.
sinkholes and all of that. But some visitors have reported strange goings on in the town.
Do tell.
Some were stories from visitors who left after fear of thinking they saw a person or thing, heard odd sounds, and some felt that they were being watched. Others have reported seeing ghostly figures and strange creatures. Some people even think that Centralia is the gateway to hell.
I mean, it's burning from the bottom.
All right, so here's some experiences, and they're kind of long. So I'm going to read one, and then Carlene's going to read one.
What?
She
I
hates
didn't
doing
hear
this.
you.
All right. So there's a story posted on a bulletin board a few years ago. Ruth Ederson, who visited in the fall of 1998, Ruth and her friends swore they saw a couple of people walking out of the smoke who appeared to be wearing mining helmets.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, the two and that's what you would expect from a mining town, right? The two figures walked up out of the large subsidence.
Subsidy? Subsidize?
Subsidence?
Subsidies?
Yeah. A big fucking hole
I'm just trying to
behind the
mess around.
graveyards and dematerializes like the smoke rising out of the same hole.
That's a supportive podcast partner.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
I'm going to have another drink.
Okay, that's
All
right.
right. This is good.
It's berrylicious.
It is very berry-licious.
Like we let it breathe.
I do taste the berries. Is there
They just need to
berries?
breathe.
I should read this. Hey, I have my little old lady glasses on right now.
I like to think of a red blend of berries.
So it's a blend of Syrah, Merlot, Petit Syrah, Zinfandel, Cabernet, Sauvignon, Malbec, and Grenache.
Jesus. They just like took all the leftovers and dumped them in there?
Dang. It says discover how to read a fucking bottle. Discover the dark side. 7 Moons Dark Side Red Blend celebrates the phases of the moon by combining 7 grape varietals into a dark, rich blend with a lush mouthful.
Ooh.
Mouthfeel.
She's
I'm
making...
thinking about later.
Oh.
Uncork. Never mind.
Alberto.
Uncork, pour, and enjoy by the moonlight.
Oh.
On that note, so yesterday, okay, so I was telling Carlene, and she sees, like, my husband has been going to town. He's revamped our whole home office. Like, we got new desks. We built a counter height counter in my closet.
It looks so good in here.
So we're like, we have a whole new setup here.
So good. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
So like every day there's something coming from Amazon that's like goes to this.
You
right?
got to read that.
What?
That mug.
The mug. Oh
That's
yeah.
funny. Maybe they sent that on purpose. Maybe that's their way of like, fuck you.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, let me finish this story and
All
I'll
right,
talk
finish.
about this one. So anyways, yesterday, apparently he ordered
No.
some lube for
Did
both
he?
of us.
Oh, hilarious.
Yeah, TMI. I'm sorry, guys.
No, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
They never do that.
Okay.
Like, they always leave it to
But
us.
it's like this
It's a
giant
jumbo.
bottle. Like, it's going
the
to take us a
jumbo.
few years to go through this bottle.
Did he
okay?
order it from Costco?
No, it wasn't
I'm
Costco.
just kidding.
Anyways, it was 2. There was 2 different ones. He's like, oh, well, maybe if you don't like this one, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, my God.
Anyways,
Come on, that's
okay, I know,
sweet.
guys. Sorry, TMI. But
I think it's sweet.
here's the funny thing. So my boys, Isaiah came to pick
Oh,
up one of the
shit.
vans because he was going to do a job for us today.
Oh, no.
And so they come in, and I forget that the bottles are
Oh,
literally
fuck.
sitting right here in front of me.
Oh, no.
And so we're talking, blah, 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 blah. And then I turn around and, like, my heart just like stops. And he turns around to pet the dog. I grab him and like threw him down there.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Oh my God. Yes.
It's good that your kids know that you guys get it on.
Well, I don't know if they saw it, but anyways, another thing that came was from Amazon. So I had ordered a bunch of boxes for my mugs.
I think that's this. Men usually leave that to the women.
What?
To do that shit.
Really? Oh, maybe they do.
I mean, that's really...
I mean, he wouldn't go in a store and buy one, but he doesn't have a problem buying
ordering it online?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's just the sweetest thing. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Now that I put all our business out there for everybody.
We know
and my daughter listens to this. Oh my God.
Uh-oh, Serena, your parents, hoochie coochie. Oh, they have enough. Maybe they'll make an extra bottle for you.
I was thinking of the time that when Albert had Serena's boyfriend working for her, whatever, and he needed to move a car, or he needed something, I don't know, whatever. But Albert has this little drawer on the side of the bed, and he's like, I think it's it. Can you?
Oh no!
Because he was in the middle of doing something. He didn't even think. He's like, go in my room. It's the little side dresser next to my bed. And so, anyways, Damon goes in there, and he comes out. And he's a little paler than usual.
Oh my God.
And I was like, did you find it? And he goes, no. I was like, I'll go find it. And he goes, okay.
Oh my God. Never. You never want to look in your parents' side drawers.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Never look in your parents' bed.
Not unless you want
drawers.
to have. Luckily, he's not like one of our actual like. Of my womb children, but
I still think it's scarring enough.
Yeah, he might have to go to counseling because of that too.
Yeah.
So anyways, another thing that I had ordered was boxes to send out my mugs. So then we get this box. It comes with a bunch of other stuff. And it's this one little lonely box, and I opened it up, and inside is a mug. And it says, I have the patience of a saint. Saint Cunty McFuckoff. I'm like, all right. Number one, I'm making mugs. Why the fuck would you buy a mug from Amazon? Yeah. So I take it out to the garage, and he's in there, and I'm like, holding the mug at him, and I'm like, why would you buy this? I could make this for you if you want this. And he's like, what? You don't know me at all. Like,
I would never do that. That's hilarious. Yeah. I still think that's
so they sent me the wrong thing. That's all it was. Twice.
That's hilarious.
I tried to get a refund. They reordered and they sent me another one. So obviously there was something wrong with that. But yeah. Okay.
Back to our story.
Oh
yeah, you're reading the ghosts. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Where were we?
So I got this from offroader.com. Scott Saylor of Mays Landing says, I visited Centralia last weekend with a couple of friends, and I thought I might share a very weird experience I had while exploring the town. We were there for about an hour and a half, and were checking out the interesting locations that I heard about, like the burning hillside, the crack in Route 61, the crack, and the streets without homes. We were in the air. I looked at, did you see the thing of a side-by-side of the main street?
Okay, what I really liked is on some of these videos, like if you watch some of the actual documentaries, they will show video of even, what some of the neighborhoods look like. They'll show what downtown look like, and they'll show what it looks like now.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's completely insane. It's like crazy.
Yeah. It's sad. It's very sad because people raise their families there from like forever. Like your aunt lived right behind you.
Yeah.
You could walk to Uncle Johnny's house.
Well, and it sounds like they're pretty much trying to erase everything about the town. That's what people are saying.
That's why people are so upset.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is where we grew up. This is where our heritage is.
I guess somebody went like,
it's where when people were migrating here, a lot of the Irish community ended up there.
Right.
And that's why it's like they have traditions there. It's like a big deal.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a lot of like first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth generation there.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
anyway, I'm
that is
sorry.
sad.
You were going to say something. I jumped
Oh, no,
on.
it was like somebody, I think it was one of the videos that I was watching, but it was this guy was saying that he went to go look for the lot information of his house, and they had already, like, they destroyed so much stuff
Oh, that's
that had to
not
do with
right.
the town.
They shouldn't
And
have
to
done
me,
that.
that's like, why would you do that? That's history. Like,
Yeah.
that stuff you try to keep.
Yeah, there's no reason to get rid of
Even
any
if
of
the
that.
town is gone, like,
Yeah,
somebody
I
should
understand, like,
be in charge of
town's
keeping
gone,
that
move
stuff.
on, move forward, but don't get rid of all the history of
Yeah.
it. To me, you're saying you're trying to hide something.
Yeah, that just is weird. Okay, so he says we had just checked out the old tombstones and we're getting a whiff of smoke from the. And that's another thing is people say the town it stinks.
Well, sulfur smells like rotten eggs. Smells like somebody farted. So it stunk. So that's why when they were saying like people didn't want to leave, why? It stinks. I'd be like, I can't go to a restaurant that has that icky smell,
dude.
You know when you go to some of the restaurants and you're like, it smells like somebody took a shit in the bathroom.
I guess if you're used to living in a rural area,
yeah,
especially
used to the cows.
Yeah,
stuff.
I have no idea what they had out there. If they had any cattle or anything,
I don't think so. But
yeah, probably not. But some people just get used to what's around them, the smell.
Yeah,
you become nose blind.
I don't know if I get used to that.
I feel like I have a raspy voice lately.
Hey, honey.
All right, so he said, we just checked out the old tombstones and we're getting a whiff of smoke from the east of that, so we walked down the old gravel road to look around. We found a slag-covered hillside with steam coming out of it and were pretty fascinated by some fossils we found. When we heard what sounded like a voice saying something inaudible from down below where we were. All three of us heard it. We figured it was someone else checking out the area too, so we sort of ignored it. Then we heard it again, a little more clearly. A few words, and it sort of sounded like, "Leave this place." I'm just playing. At that moment, the hill we were standing on started steaming more, a few moments before, and it's really stunk like rotten eggs. Sulfur, I guess. Well, sort of spooked us, so we figured we better head back to the car. Yeah, leave this place. That's, yeah. That would have been my cue.
I would take that as,
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but spirit being
Bye.
nice, like, leave this place. You're inhaling sulfur. Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
We're trying to help you. Stupid motherfucker.
As we were walking back in the area of the cemetery, we heard it again. Not the same words, not clear. Something like, why? Why did you do that? What was even weirder was that it wasn't like someone was yelling out of the bushes. It was quiet and kind of closer, and we couldn't figure out the direction it was coming from. It was too weird. We got back in our car and didn't see any other cars or people the whole time we were there.
Somebody was like, phew.
That was Shorty. We left and weren't sure what to make of it. We really weren't sure we wanted to talk about it. All I know is I'm not going back. When I got home, I found out that the area where I were walking was, hey, I copy and pasted this, okay? It was near the location that was where the fire started, across from the cemetery. I just thought I'd let you know about it. Something is not right about that place.
Stay the fuck away. Although it's really pretty, so I would be, if I was out there, I'd be curious and be like, I just want to check it out.
Yeah.
I hear it's a cool place to check out.
From some of the videos.
Yeah.
Especially just to go see the church.
Oh, yeah.
All right, here's one more. Do you want to read this one?
Can't promise it's going to be good.
It's literally the last.
All right, let's do it.
Starting.
Hi, my name is Jim. Hi, my name is Jim. About a month ago, my girlfriend Lori and I were coming back from where?
Nobles.
Oh, I could have said that. I was making it. Look, I freaked Shorty out. She's over here like, who's talking? Anyway, Nobles, and we decided to take 61 home and stop at Centralia to take a look. Wait, I threw myself off with my voice. Maybe I should still talk like this. Okay, about a month ago, my girlfriend Lori and I were coming back from Nobles, and we decided to take 61, I'm assuming that's Route 61, home and stop at Centralia to take a look as we did once before. First, let me say, we're not superstitious. In fact, we're quite opposite. We like checking out abandoned places and old buildings, old cemeteries, and that sort of thing. We've seen a lot of old abandoned homes over the years, but the one we checked out in Oh my gosh, you know what? Something we didn't say? Did you know that the guy that named Centralia, he wanted to name it
Centerville,
and that there was already a Centerville, so he had to name it Centralia.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was...
I skipped that part because I heard your voice in my head.
I liked it, though. Why do you keep thinking I'm judging you? I'm like the least judgy person, and you keep saying you hear my voice.
You're like, but why does it matter, though?
But I think that's a cool fact. I like that you do deep dives. I don't like to do the deep dive. As long as we're teaming up, you could do the deep dive. But apparently I do deep dives. All right. So we checked it out about a month ago. Really gave us a fright what we saw. We were like, holy fuck. It was a white, abandoned twin home up on a side street, up on a hill. There were 2 units, and both had red numbers sprayed on the front, which indicated, from what I gathered, the homes were probably up to be demolished somewhere in the near future. We decided to check them out. Of course, why not?
Right.
They're supposed to be demolished. I mean, they might cave in on you, but go check them out. The back door was open, so we went in. Okay, just because the back door is open doesn't mean you get to fucking walk in.
Right.
Some of the first floor windows, I just skipped a word. Some of the first floor windows were boarded up, making it dark, but we explored the old house a little. We were on the 2nd floor in the hallway near the stairs that led up and down to the 1st and the 3rd floor. The door was open, leading up to the 3rd floor. Lori was in the hallway while I was at the top of the steps that led downstairs. At that point, we heard footsteps coming down the stairs from the 3rd floor. It sounded to me that the steps were coming down the ceiling above the steps, going down the 1st floor. So my first thought was someone coming down out of the attic or 3rd floor bedroom. Either way, wouldn't you be a little freaked out?
Yeah. Nobody's supposed to be there. It was dark. It was dark and abandoned.
Right. Well, it had the red numbers, so they assumed it was abandoned. But okay. We barely have any wine left. Let's just...
Well, there's a little more in there, so...
Shots. No, just kidding. At first, we were startled and thought someone else was in the house. As the I'm assuming this is supposed to say footsteps. As the footsteps sounded like they were about to reach the 2nd floor hallway. Lori looked into the stairwell, expecting to see someone. There wasn't anyone there. At the same time, I looked down the steps to see the 1st floor and saw nobody.
Okay.
We just stared at each other. I had a little bubble come out of my mouth just now. All right, let me do that again. We just stared at each other for a few seconds. I said, "You want to leave?" She said, "Fuck yeah!" Funny we both improv that. We made a beeline down to the back door where we came in and out to the car. We drove about 100 feet and stopped to look back at the house, looking at the windows. I mean, we expected to see someone looking at us. Nothing, though. Really weird. Like someone walked down those stairs, but we couldn't see them. Freaked us out. Anyway, I don't know what you make of that. You wouldn't know who used to live in that house. Not even sure where it was or what the numbers were, but if ever I thought, because remember, I think they're a little skeptic. If ever I thought there was a dead end to something, it's these pages.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If ever I thought a house was haunted, it would be that one. Sort of changed my impression of old vacant homes. Maybe Jim won't be stupid going into old vacant homes anymore. Although I've thought about that. If you and I were driving and we're like, that house is completely vacant. There's not even doors on it. There's no longer windows on it. It no longer has a roof on it. Want to go check it out? Want to do a ghost hunt? We totally would do it.
Right.
Because we'd be like, hell to the yeah.
Yeah.
Get the camera. I mean, why not?
But that's creepy.
But this one had a roof and doors.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd go in. That's creepy.
Somebody else like happened upon a home. I was looking at pictures and stuff on one of the websites, and it looked like the people just left like the day before. There was like pillows on the couch, like somebody had been sleeping there.
But they probably were.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking, if I was homeless and I wanted to crash anywhere, why wouldn't I find a place like that?
Well, there's no law enforcement.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody would even know I'm there.
Yeah.
I like how we need these readers to read, but we keep them on.
Right.
There was a time I could not see. If I kept them on, I wouldn't be able to see you. But my eyes are so bad.
They're adjusting.
I can see you.
Oh my God.
That was no wait, there was something else I was going to add, because when I was reading that story, it made me think of it. But
haunting? Something you ran into?
Yeah, it was making me think of something not related to this, but related to
haunted house.
Freaky. It's fine. It's whatever. It'll come to me if it's important.
It'll come to you while you're sitting on the toilet. You'll be like, Eureka!
Oh my God!
It's like you're releasing all the toxicity.
I don't do that though.
From your body.
Holy shit. But yeah, I wish I remembered. I was going to interrupt the story to say it, and I didn't.
Darn it.
I should have.
Darn it.
That's okay. That was a good one.
Well, that was pretty much the extent of the haunted stuff that we found. But it's still pretty interesting.
It was.
I mean,
the story itself is interesting.
If people are going to haunt a place, it doesn't matter if it...
I bet if somebody went out there late at night, set up their shit, like if Paranormal Files, that guy, if he went out there, set up his shit, he'd probably catch something.
Yeah.
I have faith.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like anybody's been out there to do that. What is that?
That's what I'm telling you.
What was that?
That's what happened last night. This has happened again just now at 9:15. What the fuck is that? What did it say? Listen. What is it saying? What?
I don't know. All these dogs are in here. I can't hear it. Sorry.
What the fuck is that? That's what was happening last night. I mean, that's exactly what was happening last night at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's what I was trying to find you.
It sounds like a kid.
Right? Oh my God. And then Spirit flies in.
It's really high-pitched voice. Are you sure it's not a kid?
That is exactly what was happening last night at 1 o'clock in the morning. When I showed you, my whole neighborhood is quiet.
Right.
Everybody's asleep. And that is happening like it's right there in my yard.
That's so weird.
It's insane.
That's in your backyard.
That's in my backyard. Now, the front yard isn't picking anything up. Just cars going by, but no screaming. Which, if that was like one of the neighbor kids, the front would have picked it up too. Because you know those mics are really sensitive.
Yeah.
That's
really
so
weird.
Freaky. That's exactly when I was trying to play for you today.
But it was that camera that won't.
It was that camera, and it was at 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever. And that's why I went out back and was like, what the fuck? Is somebody back there? So I took my flashlight. I'm like, is it the neighbor? Like, I don't know why. We don't have any kids that are like directly behind me. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I just was like, maybe my neighbors are doing something. I don't know. So I went out. Everybody, my neighborhood is quiet. Nothing. All you can hear is the traffic on the street, like on 59th and on Peoria and stuff like that. That's all you can hear is that traffic. And that's pretty far.
That's crazy.
What the fuck is that? What are they saying?
I don't know.
That's so crazy. Look at the spirit in my backyard. They're huge. Are you freaked out, Shorty? Come here, baby girl.
It sounds like it's right in the microphone.
I know. That's what makes it even more freaky. Wouldn't you go check your backyard?
No.
Oh, I did. I mean, I took my gun with me, but I mean, I did check it.
No. I just make sure all the doors were locked and look out through the cameras.
I did look out through the cameras. I'm like, I don't know what that is. Okay, so now you heard that one. I'm going to find the one from last night so you could hear that.
Okay.
I won't find it right now, but I'll send it to you.
All right.
So crazy.
Well, we're going to go ahead and close out for tonight.
Oh, we're done, people.
We're done. We're not done with our wine, but we're going to be done right now. Oh, are you chugging? Chug? I can't chug wine. I'll throw up.
Yeah. That's good wine. Mm-hmm. No, these glasses are so big you can't really chug.
It airs out really good in these glasses, though. Yummy.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, if spirit is compelling you, I'm going to have a wine mustache after that last gulp. To go to Costco and run into Carlene. You don't have to do that. You can just contact me.
Hey guys, if you have any questions you've ever wanted to ask a psychic, just email us at tipsytalespodcast@yahoo.com, or you can send them directly to Carlene.
And we'll answer them right here. Well, I will. Doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, send them right here.
Send them over.
If I can answer it, I will. Alma will read it and I will answer it.
Correctamente.
If I can.
Also, thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you.
Because it was a really interesting story. I was really disappointed that there was not more.
I wanted ghosts.
I wanted more.
I wanted scary.
Well, I mean, come on.
I wanted somebody to fall in the pit.
There's a smoke-filled, smoldering town for 60 years.
But actually, I liked researching the actual town.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We had to dig for it, though.
I realized, like, how much history we learn doing this. Mm-hmm. An odd history.
Weird history.
Shit we can bring up at a cocktail party, and nobody's going to know what we're talking about.
No.
We're going to be like, have you heard of the town Centralia? Let me tell you about this place.
Have you ever watched the movie Silent Hill?
Let me tell you about what it's really based on. Okay?
Somebody, who was I watching? Omar? And he was saying that, like, I don't know, they were at a bar or something, and some of the townspeople were telling him about witches.
Oh, really?
So I'm, like, looking everywhere for something about witches in Centralia. Find nothing. So, I mean, not everything's on the internet.
No. But you do wonder, like, where did they get their ideas for this or that?
Was it the movie? I mean, come on. We are living in the age of QAnon, and people think that John F. Kennedy Jr. was coming back to...
Okay, that's hilarious.
So, exactly.
And all those people that went to that place, they should feel silly.
Oh, my God. Anyways. I'm Alma.
Oh, fuck. I'm Albert. And I can't wait to lube you up.
Oh, my God.
Come on, baby. All right.
I just went completely dry.
All right. I'm Carlene.
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Cynthia, for the story. We will be back in 2 more weeks. Thanks for listening.
Ooh, we are approaching the new year.
We are.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
All right. We got
like a bullet train.
If I say anything about... I get chills. If I say anything about Christmas, I get stressed out. So let's just keep it moving.
Yeah.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Thanksgiving is coming up in a few days here.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.